Welcome to Trading Lounge and the commodities report, starting with the 10-year yields here. It's all pretty simple. We've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and we're going up for wave 5 here. And in that 4 to 5 here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and then going up into the third wave. So really we're in the third of the third here, so this is where it sort of extends out a little bit. And then we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. And over in the last session, we've seen the yields push up quite nicely here on the daily chart. So still more to come. We'll take out that high here. We'll hit 5% and get sold off at that point as a corrective pattern here. So yeah, well, this, that sort of thing before we get to the top of those 5 waves, which will be the top of a very important, much larger sequence from the low here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So once we do get to that point, then we'll see a larger ABC pattern here. How long could this take? I'm not quite sure, but what I can say is that after 5 waves here, we're going to get a correction, and then we're going to have another 5 waves to the upside. Now, I think this is really interesting, and it's beyond my pay grade, but I do like to think of it. And you know, the market's a fantastic industry to be in. It connects you to the world and all the events, and not that we all understand everything and so on, and other people specialize in things and we listen and we learn and so on and so on. But you know, I do ponder this situation up here. You know, I know that the yields are separate from the interest rates. You know, the Feds can put up the rates, and you know, but they are sort of correlated, and I guess their glue would be inflation, I suppose. And then you ask, well, you know, the inflation that's coming in at the moment, you know, where's that coming from? You know, supply chains, of course, but behind the supply chains is, you know, countries not talking to each other, and you know, we can see more aggression coming in across the world, and the big boys, you know, the US and China haven't sorted their shit out yet either. You know, that's on the horizon, obviously. Hopefully it's avoidable. Part of China's 3-plan war strategy is to get lots of little wars going to keep the US busy and all the rest of it, all those sorts of things. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what this leg is over here. You know, they'll probably talk peace and everything within this space, while they're, you know, reassessing the situation. But definitely in Elliott terms, 5 waves up here would give you a correction, and then another 5 waves to the upside. So will interest rates, you know, Feds do the rates on that thing there? Probably, even though they're not connected, but they are connected in a way. But like I said, it's not my area of expertise. But anyway, all interesting all the same. I won't go into the bonds. We know where the bonds are at the lows currently. So we'll just head over to the dollar. I won't go into the bigger picture of the dollar either. We're looking for wave 3 here with wave 4 here, and then 5 waves to the upside. So we're still looking for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th here to top this out over here. Could I be wrong and we can have a top in at the moment? Probably, but I just say that this is, yeah, I could get 5 waves out of this, but it's not the best looking 5 waves, and that's okay as well. So, and this could still come down here further. This is the 38.2%. So I'm not going to call the top in here just yet. Let's just assume for a moment. Let's just assume that this is wave 1 to the upside with some sort of ABC at the 61.8%. Let's just assume that we'll keep an eye on it, really. So let's just assume for a moment that it does start to move up here. Now, it's been quite rare that we see, you know, the gold and dollar and yields sort of, you know, move out of whack of, well, the yields move, see gold move up with the yield, so to speak. That's a little bit sort of unusual. The dollar, they seem to sort of pivot and turn off each other, but at the same time, that's also not been happening as well. So we also understand that there's been central bank buying 210, 20, tons of gold in the last few months. So, and that will sort of continue at this point. So there's a lot, and those wars obviously, spike gold buying as well. And so there's lots of reasons why they're not pivoting off each other. But what I would like to say on the intraday basis, while let's just assume this moves up here. If this moves up into a third wave here, I think that it will affect gold and silver, and they will retrace. When we do get up here, we should see this move down, and then we'll see gold and silver, do its normal thing. But at the moment, on an intraday basis type thing, they're kind of out of whack for a little bit. But if this does push up here, then we're likely to see gold and silver correct back before pushing higher. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. If this is a top in over here for this, it still might not be until we come down. It might be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here, and then push up. There's a few things that could go on here. So just be a little bit mindful of that situation. I was looking at the dollar bullish fund, the dollar here in terms of but it does seem to appear this little move up here does appear to be a nice little impulse wave. Do you know what I mean? As a 1 and 2. Well, I'm not sure about the 2 here, but it looks as 1, 2, 3 here, 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It seems to be a nice impulse wave. So I think that we're on the right track with these pushing a little bit higher. So I think we could still push up here. So that give gold a chance to recalibrate slightly. We'll check that out now. So this is the weekly chart for the futures, the US spot gold here. And far as the crow flies, we're looking at wave 3 here with an A, B, and C here. Looking at this as wave 1 up here with an A and a triangle for a B, and then down for a C wave here. And we are seeing impulse waves building through here. We'd like to see them build a little bit more. The indicators, this is just a set on very basic sort of thing here. We've seen it's at their lows here. This one here was a bit earlier coming down here. This one here was a little bit earlier here, but they kind of they're lagging like oodles here, but you can read the lag. But look, if this is correct here, then we will see 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here for this. So we're just trying to understand this little move here for gold and silver. And, definitely, gold stocks. We've been talking about gold stocks yesterday. We had a look at the US gold stocks and a handful of those and some Australian ones. And, it's all pretty much green light on those. On those stocks. So that would probably be where the best trade is at the moment. I don't know about the best, but certainly one of the good ones. Let's just go. I'm just going to cut to the chase here, and I'm not going to go into the daily or any of that. I'm just going to go straight into 1,000 ticks here. And let me just clean my mess up and all my mistakes and everything else. So we'll just clean this up here and reshape this up a little bit. So just before we do that, we'll just go back a little bit in here and bring it up from the low here. So it's quite clean. We've got this nice low here, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Could I put this as a blue wave 3 here? A little bit small, but okay, it hasn't really broken any rules, and we could lose. So we could actually put wave 1 over here, but I don't think that's the case. So I think I'm okay where I am with this. And like I mentioned, let me just clean this up a little bit further here. I think this is one of the best trades, but if you're not in it, it doesn't really matter at this point because we've got time. Let me just continue with this and I'll explain a few things. So we've got wave 4, so we're looking for wave 1, so that was my first mistake. That needs to go over there. This seems to be sort of humming along quite nicely. That's a little bit weird, looks like a B wave, so we could probably put this over here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave, and put that over here. I mean, we still need to make a new top here above this little dude here to get this in here. To make that wave 3 here, and this wave 4 can pull back to this wave 4, so we'll just plonk that over there for the moment. And then we've got this wave 5, we'll put it the 1950s, and put that up there like that. So you could pretty much read a lot of stock like this as well. So I was thinking that we'll get one more little high up here, and then we're going to have some sort of B wave here, wave 4 here that could pull down here somewhere. Because we're working with, we use the Fibonacci sequence with Elliott wave. We also use the Fibonacci sequence with price here in terms of the trading levels, and so there's basically Fibonacci everywhere. So what I tend to do is that if this wave 4 was here, then this wave 4 here should be 40 to 60% bigger than this one, so we're looking for some decent sort of size on all of this, and this would be quite this might get a bit bigger than that, because when I go back, this is what this pullback in here, or I mean, maybe this wave 4 is not even done here yet. Maybe we've got to be over here for this wave 4, but nothing really matters at the moment. I'll just finish this here, because what we want is this here. We want this ABC pattern here for wave 2 coming back. That's the one that we want here. We've been going through this with the S&P last week and the week before or whatever. You get at the top here, there's a beginning to a trend, a middle of a trend, and then there's the end of the trend. And then, so we need the top and the turn here. And to get involved in it here, you just end up losing money here, even I don't care how good you are. Anyway, the risk reward factor is just not there. It's okay for a buy and a hold on stocks. You can buy those gold stocks and hold them. That's not a problem, or we've sort of weeded out some of the better ones. But look, while all this is going on here, that's why I was thinking that the dollar, if the dollar pushes up here in this instance, then in all of this really, that's that will be 3 waves up there for that, right? So that would be 3 waves down for this after it finishes off here, Anyway, we'll see how it correlates at that point. I won't go in and have a look at gold stocks today, but dollar cost averaging, DCA, would be the best way to approach a lot of those stocks that we talked about yesterday, and we will revisit those stocks every second video or so. So that's gold. Now silver, I could start silver from this low here as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 and 5 here, then an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2. I'm a little bit unsure about that, but apart from that, forgetting about that for a moment, taking from this low as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then 5 waves up here for 1 and 2, and then this one here would be another little 5 waves up here. I suppose I could change that. I could put that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this one here needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this needs a push up in here, and then we'll get some sort of ABC pattern. This is kind of interesting here because we're at the $23 mark. So to me, that's the top of minor group 1 of $20 here. So to me, it's incredibly important. And to me, this is where we'll look to build in over here. Once we've got this number as the tested support, then what it does, it stops it being pulled by this number. I know that looks like it's a long way away, but in the bigger picture, that's not going to be a long way away. And we'll also need to have, that's minor group 1, the 23. So we'll also be working with subgroup 1 up here at 30 as well. And the lower end of group 2 here is 265, so roughly in there somewhere. We'll get to that. But yeah, so this will be a chance to add 2 positions further up here. But I've got to resolve this here, this situation. So I might need to look at some silver stocks or something to try to clarify that, or at least some other markets, some ETFs or something, or rather. Rightio. So that's silver. Then we come over to base metals. So I'll just go over the bigger picture here again, because we could see that this market here was basically vibrating across the 50. The 50 is the balance point for this correction, and we've got the high here, and some highs over here. We've got the lows coming in here. So we can see that it's being pinned into this number here. And the price action has changed a lot from being volatile over to here to being over here to vibrating such small moves. It's running very tight, so it's telling me it's ready to go. Now, as a trader, if it's above the level here like it is now, well, then I'll look for long trades. If it was below the level, then I'll be looking for short trades. So we also understand that we're looking for this wave C here, or I could put this here and put this as a WXY here. Could I look at it in any other way? Can I look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 5 up here for 1, and ABC for 2? Well, that's a possibility as well, I guess. So I'll just compare that to some of the stocks and so on, but we'll just pop it there for the moment. So we could look at it as 1 and 2. It hasn't really bothered me because in a way it doesn't really matter, but all we need to do is really take out this top here to go long at that point, because that way the market would be, we started off up here, and then we've moved down to here, and then we moved down to here. Now this could be a bit of a risk here, but igniting it here would tell me that there will be a push up in in other markets. Now obviously I don't know where's the constituents for this here. I thought that I had them here. They are here. So we've got steel, we've got gold. Okay, it's the gold that's probably pushing. That's Royal Gold. Newmont here. Newmont's quite big. It's just bought out Newcrest as well. Newmont's, I think, 9% of the GDX. So energy. So it's a bit of a mixed bag here, really, for an ETF, I have to say. But I don't really know how they put these things together. So what it does do for me is it goes, okay, well, what's copper doing? So that's one thing. And then what are the stocks doing in this area? So one of the stocks in this area is BHP, and I'm just going to use the ADR here, the depository note, on this. So set this up for a while. So with this one here, it's kind of got the same pattern, hasn't it? I mean, look, it's not perfect and so on, but in a way, it's kind of doing the same thing. It's got this sort of large sort of triangle sort of thing moving in here. It's not, the balance is not at $50. We could just simply take the high and the low here and look at this at 57.75 here. So that's the balance line through there. So we'd probably want to be above this balance line here. We can look at this in lots of different ways here. We can look at it as a triangle pattern, and any position that we do take here, if we do take one, then it would need just to be a small position because of the way that it's behaving at the moment. They're corrective patterns. So this is corrective here. We could put it as wave 2. We could put it as an A wave here, a B wave here, a C wave here, and a D wave here, and an E wave here. So we could have this as the E wave over here for this, that type of thing. It's not the best looking triangle. And then look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 as looks like we've talked about before. So I don't need to do too much here at the moment. So we'll just wait for this. I don't want to chase it. I'll just let me just go and have a look. This is 1 day, so let's just go to 20 ticks and just check this out, see what we can see and what we can't see in here with this. It's a bit deep to call for a wave 4 in here, isn't it? That. It makes a nice wave 2 here, makes a nice wave 2, a nice wave 2, 1, 2, 3. And also, once again, this deep pullback in here is showing up after a third wave all the time. So makes it's either going to be growing. So what we can look for we'll have a look at this. What's today? Wednesday. I find that most trades will be quite good on the late Thursday, Friday. So we'll just wait for this because it's going to hit supply over here as well. It certainly can be bullish, but what we want to wait for is some sort of first high above here, and then some sort of the next pullback, and then we can move in, and then we'll have 58 here, as you know, we'll have this supply soaked up at that point. So we're getting there with this. So that's I won't go into other stocks at this point. FMG would probably be looking quite good, because I know iron ore is making a move as well, looking quite good now. So I'll just put this back on my daily chart and put it away over here. So there's a wake-up call. Okay, let's just call it that for the time being for base metals now. And we are looking at the US dollar, in its ready to top. So the whole turn could be going on at the moment, and the S&P coming out of their correction is going to, take offer confidence in the market as well. So this could be viewed, so this could be viewed in different ways here. I still like my triangle thing, so I might just put sort of wave 1 over here for this, and I have to put this as a WXY at least here because of these 3 waves here, which is probably the right thing to do. So I might just remove these here, and I won't worry about labeling them now, but I'll put this in here, and I'll just remove these out of the picture as well. So I think what we could do here, if that's cool, is we'll put that, if you wanted to trade this, of course, we'll trade that one. And this first one here, if I just copy that and put that in here, this can be just a part position at this point, because we just want to make sure that we're on the right track here, because we don't really have a lot of evidence at this point. See, the thing is that if this second high here gets breached, this one here, if that gets breached, then what it's telling me is that this is being, because at the moment this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, right? But if this gets breached here, that forces this pattern to be a corrective pattern. So that means that this top will be taken out. This top will be taken out. So then we can start looking at our trading levels over here. So what we really want is we want the 53 to become the tested support. Next number is 55 and then 8. So we'll start to build trades in here. So we just don't buy that top there, do we? We just look for a classic trading levels pattern at this top here. So there'll be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we can move into that top over here for that. So this one here, I think I might even just remove this one here, because this will here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll get you tipped in and then chucked out. So it'll end up with 5 waves up here somewhere, and then it could come back at that point. So that will be that top here or close to it. So I'll sort that out at that point. So do I need to look at FMG and that? No, I don't think so. Not just yet. But there's, we're at the traffic lights, and we can see that the other lights are turning yellow, so we need to be prepared to go on some of these base metals. Now, this is the copper market here. So far as I've got it so far is down for the A wave. This would be following the LME, and then the B wave here, and then moving down for C wave here. So I still like this a lot. Do you know what I mean? We do have our triangle pattern on top of this, so let me just find high-grade US copper, which is this one here. So this was a possible triangle pattern as an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, an ABC for the C wave here, an ABC for the D, and an ABC for the E wave here. Now, we need to make a new low here, and we don't have that just yet, so we can also expect a bit of a rally here as well. So it's possible to have this in play, but I have no evidence whatsoever for this particular move. But it's just a pattern on the bullish side that I'd like to just, keep on viewing. But, I need this 22 here to be breached. I need to move past this little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I need that low here breached. If that low there is breached, then it opens up this being 1 and 2 here, so it just opens up a larger picture, that's all. So we'll see how that goes. Now this is Dalian Chinese here as well. So we were just looking at this pattern as you may know as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, or an A and a B and a C wave here of a bigger triangle pattern here. So technically, once this top here gets taken out, then you can buy iron ore at that point. That's the way that I see it. And companies like Rio and maybe even Vale can reflect this market quite well. I'll just have a look at Singapore, actually. Just let me find that charting program. Let me find, well, we'll just go here. We'll just go commodities. We'll go to Singapore here. So this is the bigger picture here for Singapore. So the A wave down here, the B wave here, the C wave here, this is iron ore. As I keep mentioning, the Dalian Chinese exchange didn't give me this C wave down here. It stopped short off this low here, up here somewhere. So it's given me the same pattern overall, but it didn't give me that nice looking low there. So what I've been looking at here, just to repeat myself, is to have this as 1 and 2 and then another little 1 and 2 in here. Otherwise, this here would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. It still could, we could still look at this being pretty ugly over here as well. We could put this here as the A wave here and a B wave over here, and look at this as an A and a B and a C wave over here for that, But because of the patterns that are happening at the moment, they're ending patterns, like on the XME, so to speak. So over here on the XME, this pattern here that's been going along here is diminishing into the 50 here, so it's ending, isn't it? So it has to start another pattern, be it this way or be it this way. It has to start another pattern. So yeah, I think we're definitely on the right track here, but they're big words for a small man in a big world. So yeah, taking this top out here would just help us a lot. I won't go on to the intraday here, but that's what we've sort of been waiting for. How's coffee going? We're looking at a buy on the low here. We're not really a buy, but this is the weekly chart here. So I'm just going to go to daily chart here. Okay, that's good. So, right on the low here, we looked at this here, had a nice ABC pattern here as 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could probably take that to there as well. But anyway, wave 4. And then I could see that wave 5 was finishing here. So we had our first little impulse wave here, little small one. So this is a bigger impulse wave now, right? So this impulse wave will be 1 and 2 at some point. Don't wait too long for the pullback. And 3, 4, and 5 up here for 1, and then a bigger pullback and then up like it'll be like this. That's what that pattern is. So, and the volume is confirming the price action here. So this is probably 1, 2. This little sideways movement is 4 here. So then there'll be 5, and then there'll be a little consolidation. So have a look at what price point that we are over here with that. I think we'll talk about going long after this on the 160. We can have a closer look at it in a few days. So anything else in here? We'll look at the energy in a moment. So that's that. So iron ore looking quite good at that point. I have to... Yeah, anyway, we'll look at some iron ore stocks shortly on this. Okay, so uranium. Here, the bigger picture for uranium is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 1, and ABC back for 2, and then 1, ABC back for 2 here, and then we're moving up in here as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, nice third wave. So we're in the fourth wave here. You can see the stochastics pulling back here, so there'll be nice support on this 25 level here. So wave 4 can get a bit ugly, so I haven't really spent any time on this at all. I know it's hard to buy on the lows and all the rest of it, but this particular structure is quite good. And but here we've got 1s and 2s and 1s and 2s, right? But now we're going to be in 4s and 5s over here, so it's going to be a slow process. In the markets, what you see is not what you get. You get the opposite of what you're looking at. So if you're looking at a trend, then you're going to get a correction. If you're looking at a correction, then you're going to get a trend. So anyway, that's all looking same. Radio, if I missed something, no, I think it's okay. So so now we're looking at the energy sector. So the XLE here, there's two ways to look at this here, and I got to kind of time in with the with stock, I guess, and with crude oil. So I could view this as an ABC for wave 4 here. I could probably even put that because it's pulled back too deeply, really. There's not a big difference between those there. Let me just double check that. 50%, and if I moved it to the other one, 50% is always a little bit annoying because it could be the 38.2, which is 40%, or the 61.8, sort of right in the middle. But it's quite possible to put wave 2 here, I guess. But we don't need to worry. That will show itself in a moment. But what I was concerned about is having this up here as an A and a B and a C wave up here, and then coming down for one more leg here and then pushing up. That's what we're sort of concerned with. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we have 5 waves here already. So all we need to do now, if you wanted to go long on this, is we just need to look at this 5 wave structure here and then go long above the top here. But there'll be a pullback in this, of course. So we're on 1 day here. So yeah, basically we'd either have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here, and then we would have an ABC pattern here, and then we'd go up at that point. So we've got to take, I'll just have a look at this anyway. So I'll just go here to 50 ticks and just check on that. Yeah, okay, so this is what we're thinking is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. But otherwise we'll need to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 up here. So this is obviously 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth here. So this will be 1, 2, 3, yada yada, 3, 4. So we're very close to a top here, right? So we'll just keep a bit of, it may even be in there already. So we just need to wait for, you know, the mirroring correction of this one here, so to speak. So that's what we need, and this will play out across the 90 here a little bit. So we'll just give it a little bit of time. Yeah, anything sort of above that, would take it away from being an A and a B and a C and then coming down at that point. So then it would move up at that point. We could trade it up if you wanted to, but that would give us 5 waves up at that point, and then we'd have a larger ABC pattern before going higher again. So we need to tie all this in. They were all working quite nicely with crude oil and ExxonMobil and all of those. So I'm just going to move this to the side for a moment. And so crude oil here. So the same thing applies here. We can look at all of this down here as the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave up here. Now the C wave up here is not very nice because this is 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. So it's a beautiful structure to here. I could look at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 to here, but the wave 4 here obviously overlaps and it's a mess here. So this is something else is going on here. We could view it as 1 and 2 and maybe wave 3, 4 and 5 to finish it off. That would make a little bit more sense. Otherwise, we'd have to look at all of this as a B wave in here because of the way that this is pulled back, and this is 5 waves down here, and then an A and a B and a C, or WXY, or whatever you want to call it. But the A wave to here, the B wave to here, and the C wave to here, this is 5 waves going up here, so we'll make a new high. If I compare this against, where's ExxonMobil? Yeah, here. So this is ExxonMobil here doing the same thing. So I was looking at this being wave A here, and then an A and a B and a C wave here. So this 5 waves going up here, right, is the same, is the same 5 waves that we've got here on the XLE here, this 5 waves, right? So that's that 5 waves. And this is interesting because Exxon made a new low below the low here. So to have this as an A and a B wave here, where that didn't happen on a lot of the other stocks, because this would be it here, you know, holding up quite high here on this one. So then I come over to, if I compare this here to this market, this B wave stays in place here quite nicely as an A and a B. This 5 wave structure here, therefore from here we've got to count 5 waves up here, right? So in here it's easy to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got another little high in here to go because that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it's a nice 3rd wave. The 4th wave's good, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not kind of finished here just yet. So what I was sort of thinking is, between all of these markets, just wait for this top to come in, because we're either going to come down here, or this move here is going to come up here as 5 waves and give us some sort of little ABC correction, and then it's going to go up, and this is where we have to go long on over here for this, because we might need to put this wave 2 is either going to be over here or it's going to be in over here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, so to speak. I mean, the fact that it took the low out here tells me this is the right count. But you have to be ever ready, otherwise you miss everything. So then this over here, this 5 waves here, is this 5 waves here. So this is really weird here, this thing. So, yeah, it's just weird. I'll just put it that way. That's the thing that I find about crude oil. That's why I don't particularly like trading it. I'll do my best to analyze it, but you get all this weird stuff all the time. It's sort of, yeah, I won't go into it. But so anyway, coming back to this here, what I'm trying to figure out here is that, yep, we could have some sort of low in over here. That's not a problem, right? But to call this wave 1 is cool, but this is a wave 2 here. It's very big compared to wave 1 here. So it's more like a B wave here, and now I'm getting all this weirdness in this structure here. So I just have to wait, If I get a green light on ExxonMobil and some other stocks and the XLE, then we can go long on this. But I can't force you into it at the moment. I can't go into this at the moment because it just could be a bear trap at the moment. It's probably bullish, right? It's probably bullish, but I don't have enough evidence to back anything up at the moment. So I'm not going to do anything about it at the moment. That's it. So we come over to natural gas. I won't go into the bigger picture and everything, but we're looking at a wave 4 here, and I've got it here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5 with a low in place here. Can we have another low? Sure, picking tops and bottoms is a mug's game. There's kind of a little 5-wave structure here, not the best, but you know, it's sort of okay. You can go long with the classic trading levels pattern at the 50 here. Yeah, but picking the bottom here is a bit of a mug's game. But we're at our 38.2% retracement level. And the other thing is that I've got it as green wave here. I could put green wave 5 over here and call this wave 3 over here, but I don't really have a nice structure over here. I mean, this is 5 waves here, so yeah, you know, I can see this is some sort of A and B, and this is the other side to, yeah, I don't know, it's not really giving me nice 5 waves here, so I'll call it the B wave here, but it doesn't really matter. It's either this wave 4 or this wave 4. They're both in the same sort of area here for this. So we'll just see. I'm looking for a bounce off the 33 here, the top of group 1. That normally is the case. So let's just see if this starts building through this point here. And I'll just put this back over here. Do I need to look at the gas fund? No, not really. That's not going to be helpful. Do I need to look at anything else? No, we just wait to see if this climbs here. I mean, we do have this nice 3rd wave here, so we just got to kind of wait this out a bit here, that's all. You know, we've got all our 1s and 2s here, so 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. We can't call this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here because it's overlapping here, and you can have extensions in wave 5 here for commodities. It's quite natural, but yeah, it counts better as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we'll just stay with the count that we've got here for natural gas, and yeah, we just have to, it's a correction and we just have to wait it out. But we do want to build into this here, so consider if you see strength in this market, definitely want to be adding above the 400 and the 350 here with a classic trading levels pattern at the 350. So rather than just taking that top out there, you want to be looking for a pattern like this at that 50, at that midpoint. Okay, wait for the first high above the level and then move in, because you can manage your risk much better at that point. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it all at that. Thanks for putting up with me. Cheers.